Our guests playing live on the World Cafe today are the British band Spiritualized, led by Jason Spaceman. Their new album's title, Songs in A&E, refers to a hospital emergency room in the UK, a place that Jason spent a lot of time with a virulent disease which put him near death. Interestingly, that happened after he wrote the new songs, but before he had recorded them, making the title a little prophetic. I began by asking him about writing the songs on the guitar, if that was unusual for him.
I'm not a particularly talented musician, and I never wanted to be limited in my songwriting by my ability to play, so everything I usually sing the melodies down and then somebody works out how to put them together or play them. And then we recorded it all, and then I kind of got ill, and then I had to go back to it, which was a really difficult thing to do.
You didn't connect to him at all when you went back?
It just felt like a lot of old stuff, and it didn't make any sense, and I wasn't brave enough to throw it out. You know, it seemed like a bigger move to throw it all away and say, well, that's going to amount to absolutely nothing.
Well, let's hear a couple as they sound in the studio, recorded here for the World Cafe, and then we can talk a bit more with Jason about this new album and about what's happening with his life and with Spiritualized. Starting with Sitting on Fire.
Cool.
Baby, I'm sitting on fire, but an old flame still burns in my heart. When we're together, the fire burns bright, but the old flame ignites when we part. Baby, you know that I love you, but a memory still haunts at my door. When we're together, we stand so tall, but a part of me still falls to the floor. Set me free, 'cause I do believe it'll burn up in me for the rest of my life. Baby, I'm sitting on fire, but the flames put a hole heart full of lies. Why don't you sweet talk like an angel tonight? Well, you sweet talk like an angel, but you're driving this blind. But don't you sweet talk like an angel tonight? You talk like your mother and your father, and you just close your eyes. You don't care who you're missing around this time. I can't take care of my baby. I can't take care of mine. There's no God-given war in this world. It's about life. You say, where'd you stand on the wall? Well, you stand right where you stood before. It's far from the bullets and bombs as they fall. And you stand there and fight for it all, but you don't own a gun. And when the shells start to fall all around, you don't have to run. And you sweet talk like an angel, but you're driving this blind. Why don't you sweet talk like an angel tonight? Why don't you sweet talk like an angel tonight? Why don't you sweet talk like an angel tonight? Why don't you sweet talk like an angel tonight?
That is Sweet Talk, along with Sitting on Fire,
Yeah.
with this great version of Spiritualized that is playing with us live today. You seem to get such energy from a live performance. Spiritualized always has. I mean, that's kind
Yeah,
of...
so I think it's what we do best, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's what I enjoy it so much more. You know, we travel anywhere to any place to do this.
I've heard you talk a little bit about creativity, and you kind of alluded to it a little bit with that wanting to be free to just be at the piano and create. Do some of the most creative things you do come in the live context and are kind of
always,
almost...
and also by accident. You know, a lot of them are accidents, and you try and hold on to them as best you can, and you try and make them work, and all the rest just keeps rushing by, and you try and hold on to the really beautiful bits and the bits that really work. It's an odd thing, music, that it's so not an exact science. You know, one person can play 15 notes and it doesn't do anything, and somebody else can play the same 15 notes on the same instrument and it can move you profoundly. So there's something about, it's not about, it's like the great bits happen between the notes. You know, there's this kind of magic that's really elusive.
Spiritualized, from their name on, and certainly in their performances, have a way of using all the elements of a religious experience. And is there a difference between a religious experience and what you're doing?
I don't know. I'd like to think you can get the kind of feelings and that expression and that soul without the belief. I love gospel music, but I don't believe. I think that you can replace the belief with truth. You're going after these things that make people feel alive or make people feel like it's really special. Then you don't necessarily have to believe, you know.
Talking with Jason Spaceman from Spiritualized and hearing some of the songs from Songs in A&E live, and you certainly did spend some time in the hospital, and there's a song on here that immediately grabs you, and that's because of the sort of the sound of the. It's supposed to sound as a ventilator would if somebody was in the hospital. It's called "Death Take Your Fiddle." And how did using this sound come about, and how does that translate?
Kind of by accident, but it kind of worked. A lot of the sounds on it are children's toys, and there's a tiny little children's what's that called, like a squeeze box, like an accordion. The song was really harrowing. Once I got, all these songs were written before I got ill, and then when I came out, it was almost like these songs had almost prophesied my illness. They were really harrowing, and I kind of thought I could lighten that if I put children's toys to it, that it would lighten the mood of it. And what it did was just drew you straight into it. It does sound like breathing, and it kind of, to me, it works a little bit like when I watch people on TV or in film submerge themselves in water. It kind of makes me want to hold my breath as well until they resurface. And this kind of had the same effect in that song, that it made you catch your breath and drew you into the song. So it stayed.
With good reason, and you use it live too, which is great. So here's a live version of "Death Take Your Fiddle."
Think I'll drink myself into a coma. I'll take every way out I can find. But morphine, codeine, whiskey, they won't alter the way I feel now. Death is not around. So death, take your fiddle and play a song for me. Play a song you used to sing, the one that brought you close to me. Play a song and I will sing along. Think I'd like to take myself to heaven, 'cause I ain't been there many times before. And Jesus Christ, well, I don't know about lightning, 'cause I have been struck 1,000 times or more. So death, take your fiddle and play a song for me. Play a song you used to sing, the one that brought you close to me. Play a song and I will sing along. myself into a coma. I'll take every way out I can find, but morphine, whiskey, codeine, they won't alter the way I feel now death is not around. The way I feel now death is not around. The way I feel now death is not around.
Spiritualized playing live for us today on the World Cafe, and that is Death Take Your Fiddle, another one from Songs in A&E. And Spiritualized is out on the road, looking at your website forever, and we're really happy they took some time here to join us today on the cafe. You talked about revisiting these songs and looking at what you'd written after you were ill. It's really surprising that you had this, I don't know if we can call it a near-death experience, but you were not well, and then have these songs really be about the struggle.
I think with hindsight, you can make anything fit. You know, you can make it look like the circumstance was great or whatever, but, you know, it's like saying I'm really glad I put my left shoe on before my right because it made me avoid the car later in the day. You can make it all fit. I think it's just, you know, I think all my albums have been about asking the big questions and trying to get some kind of understanding, and they've all taken a long time to finish, you know. So there's just...
This one has inconvenient excuse.
Yeah, and it's kind of, you know, people get ill all the time, you know, and I had a bad time, but I think you kind of get on with it, and, you know, and I think it's, you know, they take a long time because I think they're worth getting right. I think that good albums really are like time capsules, that you capture all this information and all this thing that you think works so well, and then you let it go. You know, you package it as beautifully as you can, and then you send it off. And the further it travels through time, the further it gets away from its author. And the stories, you know, the stuff about my illness and the circumstance of the album also becomes less relevant as it travels. You know, that you can listen to 1930s music or blues music from America, and it doesn't really give you a sense of what it was like to be in 1930s America. You listen to it in the way it beats against your own life now, and the way it makes you feel, and the way the words relate to you now. And I think all albums are like that.
You're clearly a believer in the album as a work.
I think that there's a sense of like a novel, or like that certain parts of it, bits relate to other bits within it, lyrics relate to other lyrics in other songs, and I think, you know, people talk about people's attention spans being short. You know, it's like, how short are they? Can we make 10-second bits for them? Can we make 2 seconds? You can't make music for a perceived audience, or worse than that, for the way the audience wants to buy its music, you know. And I've been saying, you know, you can buy a postcard of the two fingers from the Michelangelo from the Sistine Chapel on, you know, you can buy a postcard of that image and it's truly beautiful, but you can't deny that it's from a bigger piece, you know. And I think records work like that.
That's a great image. What do you want to finish up with?
I think we'll play Soul on Fire.
You were born on a Monday, shot through a starlight, and all the angels singing just about got it right. Cut through a silver, the goodness of heaven knows. I don't know where we're going, darling, bless your soul. Baby, set my soul on fire. I got two little arms to hold on tight, and I wanna take it higher. Baby, you never should say never. I got a hurricane inside. sweetheart, it may not be easy, but we're trying hard to hold on, trying to make it better. Sweetheart, you get so much freedom, but freedom is just another word when you've no one left to hurt. I said, baby, you set my soul on fire. I got two little arms to hold on tight, and I wanna take it higher. Baby, you never should say never. I got a hurricane inside my veins, and I wanna stay forever. Baby, you set my soul on fire. I got two little arms to hold on tight, and I wanna take it higher. Baby, you never should say never. I got a hurricane inside my veins, and I wanna stay forever. Baby, you set my soul on fire. I got two little arms to hold on tight, and I wanna take it higher. Baby, never should say never. I got a hurricane inside my veins, and I wanna stay forever. Baby, you set my soul on fire. I got two little arms to hold on tight, and I wanna take it higher. Baby, you never should say never. I got a hurricane inside my veins, and I wanna stay forever.
Soul on Fire capping our session today. Another great song from Songs in A&E. Jason Spaceman and Spiritualized, our guests on the show today. Jason, thank you so much for playing
you.
live. We'll be back in a moment here on the World Cafe.